And a 1 and a 2 and a 3, here we go. It's the hardest part of the ring. It's the hardest part of the ring. Sometimes you go over the top rope and you bang your head on the ring apron. And that's when you feel like a big dope. Because they're the worst bumps you could be taking. Oh, it's the hardest part of the ring. It's the hardest part of the ring. Now just the claps. It's the hardest part of the ring. It's the hardest part of the ring. Bada bada. Welcome to the hardest part of the ring. It's me, Bob. What do you say? What do you know? Tip the veal, try the waitress, add an insult to injury, throwing salt in a wound, and throwing gas in the fire, making your body shake, your back crack, and your liver quiver with a hole in your heart and a pain in your pancreas. We're talking about the Elimination Chamber of Tooth. I almost got it out with a straight face. Oh, the Elimination Chamber. What got eliminated? Apparently, the last third of the show. Sweet Jesus. Well, we don't need a Raw Women's Championship match after all, do we? Big E didn't do anything with the Intercontinental title unless there was something on a pre-show I missed. Let's jump right into it, Mark and Chris. What am I doing? Did I make the joke earlier this week that the Elimination Chamber is what I refer to? Is what I call my toilet. I think I did. Okay, well, this was almost as entertaining. I know there was at least one match on a pre-show. If there were others, fill me in. There was a four-way match to determine who would be in a three-way match on a show that already had one three-way match and two six-way matches planned and a tag match. Okay, a lot of multi-people matches. I'm not getting paid by the hour today at WWE Elimination Chamber, but in a pre-show, I caught that there was Elias and John Morrison and, oh God, two other people. Ricochet and somebody else. Anyway, John Morrison won the pre-show thingy, and he's going to be part of the three-way for the U.S. Championship against Bobby Lashley and Riddle. And I guess Keith Lee is out of the thing for no particular reason whatsoever. I do not understand. I have not seen. I know we know why Keith Lee was not at the Royal Rumble with Mia Yim and the whole thing and the COVID, yada yada yada. Any particular reason he's been gone ever since? Like what the hell? I want Keith Lee, damn it. Who else would believably beat Bobby Lashley? I don't know. Well, nobody apparently. Anyway, it's the pre-show, so it's interviews and hype, and usually JBL and Booker and Charlie Caruso this time, I believe it was. And I didn't get to see as much as I would have liked to. I like the because really, if you never watch the shows and just watch the pre-show to a pay-per-view, and then all the packages during a pay-per-view, and I want to talk about that today. If you watch all those packages, you're caught up. And the pre-show was package after package, which it should be. I'm fine with that. And Hulk Hogan slams Andre the Giant at for me it starts at 4 p.m. Pacific time. Yeah, it's really wacky. And we open the show with a package. I'm already watching the show. If I'm watching the show, it means I probably watched the pre-show. So I've seen the packages. I've seen everyone's packages. I've looked at everyone's packages dead in the eye. I've come eyeball to eyeball with Herman, the one-eyed German, and gone deep sea fishing for everyone's purple-headed trouser trout too many times. I've seen your packages. What's wrong with you, Bob? Show opens with a package, naturally, which drives me bananas. And they'll do it again at WrestleMania, on the two-night WrestleMania. The whole point is you get the countdown. So for me, it's 4 p.m., but for the East Coast people, it's at 7 p.m. And over in Europe, God help you, it's practically I think it's April where you guys are. So you're counting down. There's 13 minutes to go. There's 6 minutes to go. There's 3 minutes to go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whoa, fireworks. It's the show. It's the pay-per-view. And we're going to kick it off with a package. Oh. The fun of a pay-per-view, and this is a recent thing they started doing in the last 5 years. The fun of a pay-per-view for me, was always whose music is going to play first. What's going to happen first? That's why I was so mad when they gave away the first two entrants of the Royal Rumble this year. I want to be surprised. With the Elimination Chamber, once the fifth person is in the ring, you know who the sixth person is, and I could live with that because they do it with the Rumble too. Well, 30 could only be this big motherfucker, and then here's a big motherfucker that it was. And I go, okay, that's fair. I'm okay with that. I mean, it has to stop somewhere. But I don't recall if they told you that the Raw, or the SmackDown Chamber would be first. Thankfully, I was heating up my Subway sandwich that I bought, and I was purposely avoiding the computer to avoid the information. We start with a package. Kevin Owens enters. Sami Zayn enters. Corbin and Uso enter. So we know that the first two are going to be Cesaro and Bryan. But wait a minute. Hold the phone. Stop the press. Back the buggy up. Slam the brakes. Squeeze in a lemon. Stopping on a dime. Don't know where you're going, but you're making good time. After 4 of the 6 entrants have entered, which is what entrants do, they make entrances, we do a package. We did a commercial for the match that we already started introducing. We were 2/3 of the way introducing one half of the main event, and we decided to stop and advertise a match that, for all intents and purposes, has already started. Am I crazy? I gotta sneeze. Hang on a second. Hey, that'll teach me. Bless me. I gotta sneeze again. Hey, I sneezed multiples. I'm sorry, guys. Is it me? I don't know. This is more like the pre-production chamber. I tweeted that, no one cared. Knock it off with the packages. I get it, you're the best production team in the world. Now, maybe some of those guys can take a break off from production and join the writing staff if they're so good. Cesaro and Bryan will start this match. This was the best match of the night, in my opinion, and the better of the two chambers. I'll talk about why later. Maybe I won't. I'll probably forget. Who cares? Cesaro and Bryan do 5 minutes of great wrestling. I noted the time. We were 16 minutes into the show before a lockup. Before 2 wrestlers touched, we were 16 minutes into the show. I wanted to make note of that. 5 minutes of great wrestling was interrupted by Baron Corbin. Sami Zayn was great on this. He entered with his documentary team, and the referees exchanged the documentary guys to kick him out. It was quite entertaining to me because it was the right level of comical. And I think when he teased, I want to say, Corbin, hey, you can't get me, my pod's closed, yada yada, in somewhat Wile E. Coyote cartoon fashion, he didn't realize his other side of his pod had been open, so Cesaro just walks right behind him and starts kicking his ass. What made it funny was, though, that Cesaro kicked his ass, not that Cesaro tapped him on the shoulder and Zayn made a scared face and then somebody beat up Cesaro. What made it funny was the follow-up that Cesaro just ping-ponged them all over the place. But that was to me, that's the appropriate amount of humor in pro wrestling. It's not the finish. The whole match isn't based around. It's not even really that memorable. It's a fun moment, and it's a fun thing that's happening to a guy who's been like a jackass, smart mouth, and chicken shit heel. It's not like that doesn't happen to Bobby Lashley, okay? And it shouldn't. So I thought it was terrific. Cesaro was the MVP of this match, and MVP is on this show. Cesaro did pull-ups. Him and Zayn he was chasing Zayn, scaling the side of the chamber, and Zayn fell down on his feet or something. Cesaro reaches up and he did 2 pull-ups on the change, which I knew he was going to do before he did it. I just knew there's no way he doesn't do it. There's no way he resists doing that. a muscle guy is a muscle guy. He's going to do it, and it was beautiful. I wish he did like 3 or 4 of them, but he's tired. I don't want him to get slip and fall and get hurt either. He taps out Baron Corbin. How about that? The big swing and the sharpshooter there, which is usually in true. They book this thing somewhat close to the Rumble. Like whenever someone's hitting all their moves, they're about to go. Kevin Owens is in there. He kicks a lot of ass too. He does a moonsault onto some dudes. And then again, there was a bit heavy-handed, and especially in the Raw one later on, there's a little heavy-handed with the gathering to catch a guy. They didn't stand there too long on these tonight, but still, it was a little much. Moonsault is new for KO. He doesn't need to do it. It wouldn't have mattered. They're not going to replay it. It's not going to come up again. But anyway, I think KO beat Zayn with a stunner, and Uso did the thing. Jey Uso with trapping Owens' arm on the door, and he sold it like his arm was broken. And then Uso beats KO, and then Uso beats Cesaro while Cesaro and Daniel Bryan are busy with each other. And eventually, Daniel Bryan he puts his knees up on a big splash, and he beat Uso, I think, with the knee or something or other. And this means that Daniel Bryan has won the first Elimination Chamber. He was great in this too. They sold a knee injury with him early on, or maybe he hurt his knee. I don't know. I think Michael Cole gave away the finish for this. He mentioned how resilient Daniel Bryan is, like a few too many times, and it was a bit of like Bryan. It was in the middle of this match, and I texted my friend Brian Yang, and I said Cole just gave away the finish. That's when I knew Bryan was winning, and he did. Sorry to sniffle into the microphone. There's so much dust here. I gotta dust. That's what it is. So much goddamn dust. Look at all this dust. Represents all the things I failed at. That was a little dark, Bob. Okay. Let's move on. So Daniel Bryan has a quote-unquote match with Roman Reigns. They tease a possible upset. Daniel Bryan catches Roman out of the spear where he hooks the hold. Roman fights out of it. He pummels the bejesus out of Bryan, and he does the choke guillotine thing. Referee stops it. Little extra choke, and Roman wins, and that's that. And we have a spear from Edge, and Edge points to a sign, and that's how you say who you're going to fight at WrestleMania. And I think we knew that was probably going to happen. So this is what I know a lot of fans have said. Oh, Edge and Edge and Roman Reigns. The most obvious thing is that both these men have the same man buns. Is that a weird thing in the company? You have to tie your hair up in a bun if you use the spear as a finish? Well, at least that means Goldberg's gone. What happens next? Is this the U.S. titles next? Oh, it is a skit with Bad Bunny. Yes, one of the greatest WWE champions of all time. Bad Bunny's talking to Sonya Deville, and then The Miz interrupts, and Bunny slaps The Miz. And I'm sorry to be Mr. Know-It-All today. I apologize, but I mean, whenever the camera gets too close zooms in too close on someone, obviously something else is happening that they want you to be surprised by just out of frame. In this case, Miz turns around to hit Bad Bunny back, but he stops and it's Damian Priest, and Miz won't do shit to Priest. We have the U.S. title match that Keith Lee is not in, so Matt Riddle comes in, he kicks off his flip-flops. Sorry. John Morrison and Bobbin is in there as well now because he won the thing on the pre-show to be in a match with less men in a multi-man match. Bobby Lashley is dominant as all hell. MVP comes out with a crutch, which I hope he doesn't use too much and start using it as a crutch. Oh, sorry. So Bobby Lashley is just dominant in this and just looking like a beast. I love the long tights. I love the Hurt Business colors and gear and getup. I love this attitude by Lashley. It's the best Lashley we've ever had. And what a believable monster, Jesus Christ. Lashley does, before the match starts, he does stand on a second turnbuckle and pose for the computers. I didn't understand that. I wrote, no Keith, grr, because I was unhappy that Keith was not there. And a lot of multi-man matches, I wrote that down. Yeah, Lashley was so dominant. Riddle and Morrison eventually do team on him, and Riddle and Morrison took turns grazing Bobby Lashley with flippy corkscrew thingies. Eventually, Morrison has an argument with MVP, takes his crutch, And I think Riddle uses the crutch to whack Lashley, shove him out of the ring, and hit his finish on Morrison. And Matt Riddle, excuse me, is now the new United States champion. How about that? What do you say? What do you know? The women's tag team title is next. There were no men's tag team championship matches on this show. Your women's SmackDown champion was in this tag match, and your Raw Women's Championship disappeared because Lacey Evans is impregnated with her husband's seed. Oh, I'm not wrong. Shayna and Nia, they have to enter separately, of course. So Sasha and Bianca looked good as a team. They had chemistry. Bianca just dancing and bobbing around to Sasha's music was like it just worked. I don't know why. I mean, I was wrong. I thought the predictable thing was okay. Sasha and Bianca can't really get along, and that sets up the WrestleMania match. Instead, they recap the Somalian. Why do they keep telling us he's from Somalia? I don't care. I'm not judging. I know he's a sommelier. So the Reginald guy has a crush on Sasha, and he repeats again. I know Bianca has the EST thing, but does everyone have to say it 6 times? Let's stop it. They had Reginald beat it to death. This is the best Nia Jackson Shayna Baszler tag match I think they've ever had. I don't know why. It was just Bianca's very physical, and Bianca didn't really play Nia's game, and I thought it was well done. So the Somali and Reginald, they have a good back and forth match, and Sasha's taking a lot of the heat. We're waiting for Bianca to get that hot tag. The Reginald guy shows up with the bottle. Nia pins Sasha Banks as a distraction because Sasha's like, no, I'm a good guy. I don't cheat anymore. Then Nasha hits a Samoan drop. Pins Sasha. I mean, we knew clearly Sasha and Bianca aren't walking away with the tag titles. And there you go. And then the two women, Bianca and Sasha, yell at Reginald. But what the fuck does that have to do with the SmackDown Women's Championship? Excuse me. What does that have to do with furthering Bianca, who she's going to challenge? Because we forgot Asuka existed, so she has to challenge Sasha or Io Shirai, which I doubt she's going to do. Instead, we're yelling at a guy who manages a woman, Carmella, who is not on the show. So why do we have these two women for the SmackDown Women's Championship yelling at some dude who manages a woman who's not there, who already lost to the champion? I don't care about this guy. He does a great flip into the ring. Congratulations. I don't care. I want to know who Bianca's going to wrestle. I want to make me excited. Make me like salivating to see Bianca challenge a champion. In this case, Sasha Banks is clearly what we were going for. Am I wrong? Where's Big E? Where's Asuka? Where's pregnant Lacey Evans? Where's Charlotte Flair? Where's Ric Flair? Man, we are ending this early. This ended up being like a 2-hour, 20-something minute pay-per-view. So Drew McIntyre enters. We have our main event. It's the Raw chamber. This chamber was not as good. I felt the drama was gone. I thought the first chamber just hit every chamber beat. We've jumped off of this, and we've had this back and forth, and these surprises, and this, that, and the other thing, and we had that wacky mini match after it. And then this chamber did all of those things, but we just saw it. Maybe if the first chamber held back a little bit, this would have been better. There was a huge non-payoff right off the bat. We'll just get right to it. Jeff Hardy and Orton start the match. Kofi Kingston was very funny, goofing on. He was telling Orton his quads looked great. And you could hear all of Kofi's jaw jacking with all the guys. And AJ Styles as well. This was a lot of fun. Normally I'd groan, but at least someone's trying to be entertaining. And it does show AJ Styles checking out to a degree. But Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton start the thing. And they wrestle around. Drew is third. Yeah, Kofi is fourth, and Kofi gets in and almost immediately rolls up Randy and pins him. So much for the quad strength. Big surprise. I was pretty certain Orton would do a lot of ass kicking, and we'd have a goddamn payoff to Orton's Alexa and Fiend feud, which has been the main segment of Raw for 16 years now. But no, we didn't do any of that. Orton just got mad. He did some RKOs to whoever was laying around. I think Kofi, Jeff, AJ. I don't think he gave Drew one. And that was that. Randy just left. And this is where things get strange, because the Omos guy, he releases AJ. AJ didn't want to get cornered by Randy, so the Omos guy rips the back of AJ's escape pod off, so AJ can run away. But now AJ gets into the match like a minute and a half earlier, and he thinks that's like an advantage, or that's like, hey, I got 28 in the Rumble. Hey, I just cheated. Now I can be 21. No, you idiot. Why is he happy about this? Why is he going for this? Why did they let it go? Why did the referee count and allow AJ to make legal covers when AJ was not in the match yet? No one knew. No one could tell me. There was a wacky monkey flip by Kofi on AJ into the chains on the side, which was just bananas. Adam Pearce yelling at Omos just to go backwards a little bit was fun because he's admonishing Omos, and Omos didn't really have a comeback, so he just looks at him and goes, "Bah!" That's it. He was just yelling. There were no words in the yell. It was an inaudible yell. But he said it like it was a statement. Like, okay, doesn't make sense. What happens here? I don't know. Somebody gets pinned. I think Sheamus and Drew finally do come to go to blows. They're trading punches, and the computers start to chant, "This is awesome. It's amazing how they do that." Sheamus does do the brogue on Kofi, gets rid of Kofi. Drew McIntyre hits the Claymore on Jeff. He gets rid of Jeff, so now we got Sheamus, Drew, and AJ. AJ does a springboard, and he just hit like a senton, and I think he was going for the 450. And this is why I say AJ is kind of mentally checking out, because he went right back to do the springboard, the 450, and he did hit it like right after again. But AJ, no, I mean AJ's a veteran. He knows you don't just go for the same move twice and just totally expose the whole thing and do something again immediately after it doesn't work. He knows that. I think he just did it to just do it. AJ hits the phenomenal forearm on Sheamus, and he pins Sheamus. And then Drew eventually defeats AJ. He catches him in a Claymore off of a springboard, which was nicely timed. But every time they show the replay, they show a slow motion. They speed it up when the kick happens. But it was well timed anyway, so why are you messing with the video when everything is so overproduced? Just show the replay. It's fine. The bell to this match rang at 2 hours and 9 minutes into the show. There was a little more show, but not much more. Drew McIntyre wins the Chamber. Bobby Lashley beats the holy jeepers out of Drew McIntyre. So it looks like we're going to set up Bobby and Drew, and we probably still are. But wait a minute, let's go backwards here. One of Drew's first feuds, right after Mania, he did Seth, he did Bobby, he did Dolph, he did somebody in the summer. I don't remember who. But Seth, Bobby, and Dolph were the first three. He just feuded with Bobby Lashley. Oh, they're supposed to forget that because Bobby Lashley, I think he had shorter tights then or something, so it's different. The Miz cashes in the Money in the Bank briefcase, my friends. A little back and forth. Miz hits his finish, and for whatever reason, I hope Bad Bunny's involved. There was a 1, 2, 3, and somehow Miz is the WWE champion. Why do they think he's good? So I understand there's a fast lane. I didn't know this. I was late for some reason. I missed this information. There's another mini pay-per-view before WrestleMania because that'll help. And I think people are already expecting Miz will somehow lose the championship on Raw or at Fastlane. Maybe to Lashley, back to Drew, or something like that, or to Drew and then set up Black. I don't know. I don't really know. I don't think Miz, Lashley, Drew as a three-way works. I don't think any three-way really works as a main event of WrestleMania. I don't think Drew had enough. So Bad Bunny and Miz are both WWE champions. I hope the main event is just fucking Miz versus Bad Bunny in a unification championship, and Bad Bunny just wins the thing, and that's WrestleMania. Who cares? Why? It's over. Why do they think Miz is good? I don't get it. It's a fake charisma. It's a look at me, I'm charismatic charisma. It's a telling people you're charismatic kind of charisma. It's like the comedian where a joke doesn't land. They go, "Oh no, fuck you, that was funny. You guys missed it." No, we didn't. When I'm looking at my volume levels, I got way low and mopey after like 3 minutes of this shit. I'm sorry for you having listened to me lament about Elimination Chamber. I start a new job tomorrow. I got hurt at my old one again, and at the very last minute on Friday at 4 p.m., I got hired to start tomorrow, Monday, February 22nd. What else happens tomorrow? What else happens on Monday, February 22nd? It's my goddamn birthday tomorrow. Monday, February 22nd, I turn 41 goddamn years old. I haven't handled it well. I don't know if I think I've aged okay, but I haven't handled aging well. It bothers me. I don't like getting older. I visited the comedy store in La Jolla, the part of San Diego where I was a door guy and a comedian for years. For the second weekend in a row, I visited, and I'm just like, yeah. I mean, I know every time I go back, I'm not going to recognize everyone. That's fine. I get used to that. There's still a handful I do recognize, but just like stand-up comedy didn't work out. Oh yeah, I was a wrestler once, trained by Alpha the Wild Samoan, and it didn't work out. And I was forced to take a new goddamn job, which I don't really want to do, for barely, maybe break-even money. We'll find out. Because I had to. Because I couldn't go back to my other job because I was hurt. Couldn't see a doctor because I had no insurance, and they wouldn't let me back until I had a doctor's note. So I just stopped going. I haven't even quit that job yet. I'm just going to go to this other job. I asked for a workman. Don't say that. It's probably yeah, they're gonna find this. Who cares? No, but I'm not happy with the temp agency of the previous or current job. I haven't quit yet. I am not happy with the temp agency and their lack of response for a pretty reasonable and legal request, mind you. So that's that. So I'm just trying to stay. So if I hang in with this shit for 3 months, I'll have insurance again. See some doctors, maybe put myself in a position to get a better job, which I still don't want. I feel quite ripped off by New York comedy and shoved to the side, and I think things have. I thought I did everything to make things. I thought I did everything and then some, as opposed to the people that all the owners and bookers did go with, and it was just never good enough because I wasn't the guy who would be best on a poster, regardless of what the ticket paying and drink buying audience members thought. But that's that. So we're gonna have to fight the same battle again here, and I'm having a birth. Jesus Christ! I don't want to have any more birthdays. It's too much. Nothing worked out. The 30s were so disappointing. Everything went sour from like 32 to 40. I don't want to do this. And it's around my birthday, usually on or the day of or the day before or day after. This is the WWE Elimination Chamber because it's a late February pay-per-view. It was not fun. I did treat myself. What I did was 10 days ago, I bought some new toys that I didn't open yet. I just put them in a bag, haven't looked at them. the Masters of the Universe Roboto and the Transformers, the movie version of the Hot Rod character, who's I think it's similar to those Earthrise War on Cybertron type of Transformers scale and design. So I won't even open them until maybe tomorrow when I feel when I get back from this new job. I think I'll need them to cheer myself up. So, and I ordered the Wave 3 of the Cobra Commander for the G.I. Joe Retros. Can't get my hands on a Fang. One was coming and Walmart canceled it. But I'll worry about that later. I'm not too concerned about the Fang right now, anyway. But I am making another Sun Bob G.I. Joe episode. I've been working on that right before I recorded this. And that's like 75% done. So hopefully, when probably not in a week, but maybe two, we'll get a new one of those. And hopefully, you all enjoy that. But in the meantime, whether it's, oh, that was me. Whether it's the claps or not the claps, it's scary with the Elimination Chamber to see people fly over the top rope. Because the ring apron isn't like, now it's not like a foot worth of space. Now it's like 6 or 7 foot worth of dangerous space, and then into the chains. So you have way more area that you could honestly say is the hardest part of the ring. It's the hardest part of the ring. Sometimes you go over the top rope and you bang your head on the ring apron. And that's when you feel like a big dope. Because they're the worst bumps you can be taking. Oh, it's the hardest part of the ring. It's the hardest part of the ring. Now just the claps. It's the hardest part of the ring. It's the hardest part of the ring. Ba-da-ba-da.